and officers who are joining us for today's meeting, the 25th annual meeting of the Town Council. Please be aware that the Council is video recording this meeting and this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. I would just like to highlight some key points of the meeting format. Please can I ask everyone to have their phones turned off or set to silent. If councillors have any concerns about hearing or seeing others in the meeting, please let the chair or the council officer know straight away. The fire exits are clearly marked, with 2 in this room being the closest. The assembly point is the flat grass area by the patio. Please remain seated unless you're invited to speak or need to take a comfort break. The toilet facilities are out in the corridor. Members of the public are invited to participate in the meeting with the key points as follows. When the public participation agenda item is introduced, please raise your hand to show you wish to speak, and I will invite you to speak. If you are comfortable standing, please do so to ensure you can be heard across the room. You do not need to state your name when you start speaking. Public participation is limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person and must be relating to an item of business on the agenda. As chair, I will interject if needs to enforce this. I would ask that participants looking to leave the meeting wait until the end of an agenda item to limit distractions for other participants. To all present, please remember to show respect to others in the meeting and avoid interrupting where possible to enable others to follow the meeting. If any councillor feels concerned about any aspect of the meeting or discussion, please clearly state point of order. I would then gesture for you to elaborate. If anyone present is felt to be behaving unacceptably, they can be ejected from the meeting by resolution. Thank you for listening. On behalf of the Council, I would like to thank everyone for attending this Town Council meeting. Agenda item number 1. Election of Mayor for the municipal year 2024 to 2025 to receive nominations for the office of Mayor. Do I have any nominations? Councillor Bristow.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I would like to propose a nomination for a councillor who has made a real mark on the Town Council already this year. She's exceptionally dedicated and has an amazing aptitude for connecting with people, and has already had the privilege of being Deputy Mayor and has given so much of her time, effort and energy to that already. I think she would make an exceptional Mayor for the coming year. That is Councillor Sally Marcroft.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Rutland. Then I can have all in favour. Thank you. You are duly elected as the new Mayor of Seaford.
Peter?
Seaford councillors, ladies and gentlemen, the town mace represents the authority of our sovereign and is carried when the sovereign is not present. If the sovereign were to be present, this would be carried in the inverted position. It is presented to the town when the town was a Cinque Port and a borough by Queen Elizabeth I. Therefore, in respect of the mace, and also in respect of your retiring and your incoming Mayor, might I ask you please to be upstanding and when they return. Thank you.
opportunity of thanking Councillor Olivia Honeyman. Further to her time in office as Mayor of Seaford, Seaford Town Council wishes to remember and record its gratitude to Councillor Olivia Honeyman for her commitment whilst Mayor of Seaford for both the 2022 to 2023 municipal year and 2023 to 2024 municipal year. Councillor Honeyman embraced the role of the Mayor of Seaford with such enthusiasm. She attended over 100 events and functions in the 2 years, helping maintain and raise the profile of Seaford Town Council in its local and neighbouring communities. A truly remarkable achievement. During Councillor Honeyman's first year, she was met with a host of significantly momentous royal events. The first being the Platinum Jubilee, sadly followed later in the year by the death of HRH Queen Elizabeth II. Councillor Honeyman led the town through mourning, sent Seaford's condolences to the royal family and read the proclamation of King Charles III. None of this had ever been done, and Councillor Honeyman carried out all tasks to a high standard, making history in the town. Throughout the 2022 to 2023 year, Councillor Honeyman raised £838 for her chosen charities Refuge UK and Seahaven Storehouse and Waves. Following an ordinary election in May 2023, Councillor Honeyman was elected by councillors to continue as Mayor of Seaford for a second year. For the 2023 to 2024 year, Councillor Honeyman chose a youth theme and set out to support youth groups and organisations in the town by creating networking opportunities and raising awareness. Throughout the 2023 to 2024 year, Councillor Honeyman raised £1,010 for her chosen charities, the Mercury Youth Centre and the Youth Counselling Project. In addition to the civic aspect of the role, Councillor Honeyman has carried out her other duties as Chair of the Town Council with unswerving devotion and has always acted with the Town Council's and Town of Seaford's best interests at heart. On this day, 9th of May 2024, Seaford Town Council thank and honour Councillor Olivia Honeyman for her service and devotion and her achievements as Mayor of Seaford.
Obviously, I'm not going to do another speech, but I want to say thank you to Liz and Sally for being deputies for the 2 years. Thank you very much for both of your support. And thank you very much to my family, thank you very much to councillors, but just thank you very much to the town of Seaford. It's been quite an interesting, challenging 2 years. I've learnt lots and I've certainly come out of my comfort zone quite a few times. It's been but it's been amazing just meeting everyone and just, yeah, it's been really amazing, but I'm really touched by the comments on there. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done.
So we are now preparing for item 4 of the agenda. The election of Deputy Mayor for the municipal year 2024 to 2025 to receive nominations for the office of Deputy Mayor. And at this moment in time, I'm just asking for anyone who would like to propose a councillor for that position.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I'd like to congratulate to the new office of the Civil Council Mayor. And I would like to nominate our Councillor Verma for Deputy Mayor.
Do we have a, thank you, Councillor Lamb. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Taylor.
And I'd like to second the proposal that Councillor Wearmouth be the Deputy Mayor for the coming year.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Okay, do we have a vote?
Always for.
All in favour?
Difficult, is it? That's a clear majority.
That's a clear majority. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, very, very much. So now we're going to move on with council business for this meeting, and the next item on the agenda is apologies for absence. So we're going to consider apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone, by the way. We have 3 apologies this evening. Councillor Lindsay Sturton, personal equipment. Councillor Stephanie Dubas, personal equipment. And Councillor Sam Azaniji has a work commitment. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda, item 6, disclosure of interests. To deal with any disclosure by members of any disclosable pecuniary interests and interests other than pecuniary interests as defined under the Seaford Town Council Code of Conduct and the Localism Act 2011 in relation to matters on the agenda. Do we have any disclosures? Councillor.
Thank you. I just quickly, I know I've disclosed this before, but just so that we're all clear, when we come to the outside body reps, I'm employed by the National Park and I work on the Ouse Valley Climate Action Project, which will have an outside body, although I don't have any decision-making capacity, so just so that that's out in the open.
Thank you, Councillor.
Next item on the agenda is item 7, public participation. To deal with any questions or brief representations from members of the public in accordance with relevant legislation and Seaford Town Council policy. Do we have any matters from the local gallery? Anyone? Lovely. So you're given 4 minutes to speak. You do not have to say your name, but it would be really helpful if you stood up. So first on the lady on the left here, at the end, at the back.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Christine Brett, I think most of you know who I am. My question is to do with item 12. It's item T, the Seaford Head Action, Seaford Head Nature Reserve Committee. Okay. Yesterday evening, I had the pleasure to be at the opening of Emma Stibbons' exhibition at the Town Gallery, and I was enjoying a beautiful picture she's painted of Hope Gap Steps. And that started me talking to the people that I was with, who asked me when they're going to be reopened, so we can all safely go rock crawling again. Now, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting of the Seaford Head Nature Committee because I was away, and I only was able to find out from the minutes that it was agreed that they remain closed for the present. But there wasn't any more information. I hope we might read some of that in the report, but we haven't. So can somebody please explain to me now where Seaford Town Council is with this now? Has the survey been carried out? That's one question. Is there a costing for the repairs? And have we got a time zone for reopening them, please? Because I'm sure that over the summer you're going to get a lot more inquiries from the public about this, because they're all desperate to go down there again and take their grandchildren and paddle and collect mollusks, as I did when I was a child. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say that as you said, that the gaps were closed last year for safety reasons, and what's happening is that obviously Seaford Town Council owns Seaford Head, but it's very much looked after in partnership with the other partners on the Seaford Head Local Nature Reserve Management Committee. That rolls off the tongue nicely, doesn't it? That difficult to say, but very important group. And all of our key partners are part of that group, including South Wales National Park, National Trust, Sussex Wildlife Trust, Seaford Natural History Society, etc. if you like. That's a very important partnership group meeting. So that partnership group the council's basically asked that group to have a look at this and see what they think really, and help to inform what the possible way forwards may be. So that's one piece of work that will be that's kind of going on behind the scenes at the moment. And then we anticipate that later in the year, the matter of the future of the steps will come to council to consider. So the council will be considering it in the months ahead. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, could I have the next public participation?
Hello,
Thank you
good
very
evening
much.
everyone. Sylvia, everyone knows me, Sylvia. Good evening, and may I say, Madam Mayor, congratulations on your election.
Thank you very much.
Right, I've got 2 items to speak on. I promise I'll be within the 4 minutes. The first item is agenda item number 17. This is to adopt the revised complaints policy procedures here. I'm glad this item is on the agenda. And 1.32 says to ease the onus on the Mayor to handle complaints related to the town clerk. This is a very good idea. And 1.33 also states to ensure a procedure that allows for complaints to be handled impartially, discreetly and fairly, balancing the town council's responsibility as an employer with its transparency requirements. Moving on to 1.6. Following on from 1.33, impartiality and transparency, I would ask that it be considered that the complaints panel have an impartial member from outside of any council involvement, which would also include South and Now, and possibly from a completely separate area to Sussex for the impartiality. Thank you. And then on agenda item 18, councillors' training, I'd like to highlight 3.2. It states further subjects will be explored throughout 24 and 25. I would like to say, would council consider adding all relevant legislation to parish councils, especially the Local Government Act of 1972 and 2000 and the Local Government and Public Involvement in Health Act of 2007. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. Is there any...
No, just to say those points are noted. I'm sure councillors have heard your submissions and will be mindful of them when we consider those items on the agenda. And on a slightly less serious note, it's always great to hear the public have read our notes and minutes. That's fantastic. So that's good to see the interest. But thank you for the questions, and as I say, the council will be mindful of that when we discuss them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Is there any other public participation? Okay, thank you very, very much for your interest and your contributions at this point. Okay, the next item on the agenda, item 8, petitions. In accordance with the Town Council petitions policy, this is a standard agenda item to facilitate any public petitions being presented to and notify full council. Please note that this would not prompt discussion on the petition at this meeting.
Chair, we have no new petitions for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 9, minutes. All outstanding minutes will be presented to the June full council meeting for approval. Okay, so now I'm approaching item 10, which is the Town Clerk's update report, and we're going to consider the report of the 12/24, providing an update on key Town Council work and work priorities for the Town Council.
Thank you, Chair. As councillors will have seen reading the report, we have a summary of some key achievements for the council over recent months. I think it's fair to say that it's been a very busy time within the council, and I'm very grateful to the officer team for all their hard work during this period. But I think, although there may be some challenges, but we're also making some very important progress as a council and making a real contribution to our town. And some of the examples are shown within section 2 of the report. Section 3 of the report is the standard reporting that I do for transparency to councils and residents at every meeting on how motions are being enacted, complaints, FOIs and appeals. All the information contained there. In section 4 I've set out for some of the key work the council will be doing during the municipal year that starts now, in terms of May 24 to May 25. And again, some really important, exciting pieces of work coming up, and also important challenges for us to face as an organisation. And then also we're sharing with you the results of the South Ashton Park election. And then crucially, in the appendix is an update on the Town Council Strategic Plan. I'm very grateful to all the councillors for all of their hard work in helping us produce a 4-year strategic plan for this council term. I think that's a really important step forward for the organisation council. Clear, transparent, manageable and over a definitive time period document that mirrors our council terms of 4 years. As you'll see, I've diligently recorded the progress against each of the objectives in the plan and also key priorities over the forthcoming civic year and the difference that will make. So, a lot to take in there, but I'm happy to take any questions. Through you, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk. Do we have any questions? Councillor Bishop.
Thank you very much, Chair. I've got 2 questions and 1 remark, if I may, so I'll try and be quick. Thank you very much, Town Clerk, for the report. It definitely shows a lot of the amazing things that are going on. On page 9, the motion on bus shelters, I was just wondering if within the liaison with the Sussex County Council, it has been able to speak to them a little bit more about the design of them and the potential for leaving it open and flexible to, for example, creating polymer stations being used, seeing as my understanding is that they will effectively be manufactured for us to then take forward. I was just keen that we had some input into the design so that we can sort of flex that to our voted for needs. Maybe I'll do that first and come back.
Yeah, no, we're happy to pass those comments on to East Sussex and we'll see how to progress.
Thank you, that's great. And my second query, through you, Chair, if I may, is to ask the Chair of the STFC Working Group, Councillor Borman, for an update on how we're going forward with that, because my understanding is that we are to bring a report to full council. Well, it may have already been in March, we may be bringing it to July, but I'm just conscious that we've only had 1 meeting and I'm really keen that we do come back to full council with recommendations, because a lot of stakeholders for Crouch are relying on us to do so that everybody, including the football club, has a clear steer and clear guidance on where we go for the next season, which kind of begins in August. So I wanted to bring that up because I know I've asked it before at other meetings and the working groups bit, but now time's getting really short. So yeah, if you're able to provide an update, we appreciate that.
Chair, I'm happy to through you, Chair. I'm happy to get the council first, and maybe I can.
Okay, Councillor.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, on the bus shelters, just so that the council are clear, and so you, Councillor, the majority of bus shelters in the UK are manufactured by a company called Glasson, and they're based in Preston. They're probably manufactured in China, but they're all manufactured in Preston, Ohio, so that, and they're basically a standard bus shelter, and they come out at a standard price, and also they come out supplied and fitted is different because that's supplied, they're fitted by the local contractor, who in that case will be probably Belfort Leeds or East Sussex County, just Belfort Leeds. Can you say something about the football club? I think it's very important that the council know this. On Saturday, my wife and I went up to Seaford Town Football Club, which involves the Crouch as well, to be honest with you. And it reminded me, we played Wick this summer on the South Coast in somewhere. It reminded me of the 1970s Bolton Wanderers Burnden Park pitch invasion with fighting. It's probably the worst football violence I've seen since, well, not really, but it's been worse. It was absolutely dreadful. I think it's something we should take in consideration as managers of the football ground. And I'm speaking to someone from the football club. They will review the CCTV, and I do hope that the report from that CCTV is referred to the town clerk. Because I don't think we need that and spill over into Seaford Town Centre. So thank you.
Just to say, we're very mindful of what happened on this. So that's the unfortunate events, and discussions are taking place with
Good, thank you, sir.
What's going on.
Thank you.
And I think in terms of working, so we haven't put working groups on this agenda because that will be at the June meeting, because this is the annual meeting. And Councillor Morgan, there was room to speak for you, so please feel free to add if you wish. But as I say, I think that the members of the working group and officers involved are very clear on the motions that were set by the full council, asking the working group to undertake. It's very crucial and important work. and I know lots of work is going on behind the scenes to make sure that the meetings of that working group are taken forward in addition to ones that have already taken place, and we are expecting a report from that working group to come to full council in due course. Thank you. Councillor Warren wishes to add, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Working group kept, obviously, as you know, has had a few meetings, Council. This is mainly because officers have had more pressing things that they've had to deal with more urgently, although we do know this is becoming urgent and the meeting is being planned to be organised soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Does anyone else have any questions?
Do you have a further question?
Councillor Bristow?
No.
You know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, so the purpose of the report was to note the contents of the report. The recommendations is to note the contents of the report. So all in
Councillor Horrocks,
Proposer.
Proposer.
Proposing that. Councillor Sturton, seconded, Chair, thank you. Proposer, we've got a seconder.
Yes,
Got
and
those, and I'll
all in favour? I think that's fine.
everyone, Chair, thank you very much.
Agenda item number 11. Purpose of the report to appoint members to committees and subcommittees, appoint the chair and vice chairs, and consider the appointment of any new committees.
I'll be doing this ably assisted by my colleagues as needed. So we're going to take this in the order of the motions shown for agenda item 11. So basically, should we do number 2 before we do the rest, and then we'll use it to approve the structure? Okay, so we're going to take, we've done number 1, because you've done your homework, that's great. So Chair, can you take motion 2, and then we'll proceed with the other motions.
Okay. Are there any questions regarding the motion? Councillor Wilson.
Just noticed that the Councillor Harley isn't listed.
We'll come to that in a minute, Councillor. But please don't worry, the list in front of you is not a definitive list. It's a current working document, and at this meeting, councillors have the opportunity to add further councillor names, including their own, to those lists. And looking at the list, I'm hoping they're going to do that. So we expect the list to grow during the meeting, not a problem at all. So we just need to do motion 2, Chair, and then we'll crack on with getting the committees elected.
Okay.
So we just need a proposer and a second.
Should we have a proposer and a seconder for?
Sat over there, that's all right.
there.
Yeah.
Councillor Fuller
I've proposed the structure.
and seconder Councillor Sturton. Thank you very much.
All in favour, Chair?
All in favour?
That was everyone, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now I'm going to do motions 3 to 7 in order. So to appoint members to the standing committees and subcommittees, excluding the appeals committee membership. Okay, so as Councillor Bristow has highlighted, you all have this sheet on your desk in front of you. So what I'm going to do is for each committee, I'm going to check that everyone here is happy. I'm going to ask for any additional councillors to put their names forward, and then we will then vote to adopt that committee. And when we've done that, we'll move on to the next one. We've done all the committees and subcommittees apart from appeals. We will then elect the chairs and vice chairs, and then we'll do the appeals committee. Okay, so let's start with community services. So you'll see the councillors already listed there. Everyone happy with being there? Who's there? Okay, good. So you're in. Are there any other councillors who wish to be on community services? Councillor Shire.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, can we add them? Okay. Councillor Meek. Yeah, great, excellent. Anybody else want to be on community services? Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Is that 11? So, Chair, we now have 11 members, which is actually fine. But to have more than 10 members, the meeting has to vote to approve that. Just to say there's precedent for this. We've had larger community services committees before. So we just need to pass a motion to say we can have 11 members. Do we confirm that membership at the same time, do you think?
I think we can wrap that in as part of the agreed.
As part of the agreed membership.
So we'll just have the 10 making one as the vice chair then?
No, sorry, it's 11 people.
Yeah.
We've actually got 12 boxes now, if that makes sense, with one bank. But we'll come on to that in a minute. So, through you, Chair, could someone propose the 11 councillors and having this membership?
Olivia, Councillor Inham.
She's proposing. Perfect.
And second.
Just a second. And then, again, through you, all in favour of that. Okay, so community services done, everyone. That's brilliant. Okay. Finance and General Purposes Committee. Everyone listed here happy? Okay. Any other councillors wish to be members of FNGP? Councillor Shirley? Perfect. Great news. Welcome. Any other councillors wish to join this committee? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members for this committee. So through you, Chair, would someone like to propose that membership date? Thank you, Councillor Sturton. And seconded, Councillor Borman. And again, through you, Chair, can we just approve that committee now? All in favour? That's perfect. Thank you very much. That was everyone. Okay, Golf and the View. Everyone listed here happy? Okay. With some hope in my voice, we have some more members for this committee. Councillor Shirley, yes. Councillor Lee, brilliant. Okay. Anybody else wish to join the committee? Councillor Rutland. Okay, so we have those 3 additions to your sheet. Okay, would someone like to propose that membership of 7? Thank you, Councillor Bristow. Seconded, Councillor Horo. All in favour? That's that one done. Thank you. Okay, planning and highways. The 5 people happy? Yes. Okay. Again with hope in my voice. Any more people planning and highways? Great stuff, Councillor Clay. Brilliant. That's fantastic. Any other councillors for planning and highways? We welcome more. No. Okay. So looks good. So again, through you, Chair, someone propose that membership, please. Thank you, Councillor Raven. Councillor Borman is seconding it. And again, through you, Chair.
All in favour?
Thank you very much. Okay, personnel committees next. So, again, the 4 people here happy? Yep. Anybody else want to join personnel? We can take more. Councillor Meek is joining, thank you very much. Any more? Okay, would someone like to propose that list of 5? Propose for that. Thank you, Councillor Hannigan. And secondly, Councillor Weymouth. Yeah, sorry, I got Tina. All right. Okay, and all in favour, again, through you, Chair, all in favour of that membership for personnel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I do climate change and apologies for this being done. Okay, so we're going to do climate change subcommittee. 4 people happy? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, anybody else want to join climate change subcommittee? Councillor Meek, great stuff, thank you. Any other councillors joining climate change subcommittee? Councillor Richard Honeyman, thank you. Any more? Okay, so we've got 6 councillors onto climate change subcommittee. So that's Councillor Meek and Richard Honeyman in addition to 4. Would someone through you, Chair, like to propose the list? Thank you, Councillor Rutland.
And second,
Councillor Matthews.
All in favour? Thank you very much.
Perfect, great stuff. Now we go to disciplinary and grievance subcommittee, yes? Councillor Borman, you're happy to be on this committee, thank you. We've got vacancies here. Councillor Rutland, that's fantastic. Councillor Sturton, that's Ruth Sturton, that's fantastic. Councillor Horo, perfect. So we have our 4 councillors for that committee, thank you very much. Would someone like to propose that list, please? Through you, Chair, thank you. And Councillor Lord, yeah, and again through you, Chair.
All in favour?
All in favour, okay, so we've done that, okay. We do that last, because we have to figure out people get excluded from appeals if they do the various things. All right, so that's number 4. So now, number 3. I'm sorry. That was number 3. Now number 4 and 5, chairs and vice chairs of the committees, yeah? So I'm going to, so Councillor Weymouth has indicated she wished to be chair of community services, is that correct? Do I need someone to know?
Point of order.
Yes.
I didn't think the mayor and deputy mayor could be. I think
That's custom and practice, isn't it?
it's kind of advised against it, just to kind of broaden the number of people that you have in the chair positions. It's not strictly banned, but it's something, if we can get more numbers within the chair group, it's recommended.
Okay. So, should we take a proposal second, yeah?
Just to say as well, obviously that is within council policy, so the council can overrule that themselves if they want to.
So, should I seek a nomination?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have councillor moved, so actually, can we have councillor movement nominated and seconded first? Thank you, councillor Honeyman, yes, and councillor Taylor. Okay, do we have any other nominations for chair of community services? Okay, so again, through you, Chair, we should elect that chair. So all in favour of councillor movement being chair? Okay, anyone against that? Okay, thank you. So councillor Wearmouth is chair of community services. I think I'll do vice chairs, because do I do chair or chairs and then vice chairs? Is that how we normally do it?
Chair, vice chair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so can I have a nomination, please, for a council to nominate themselves? This to indicate interest in being nominated. So can I have an indicative interest or nomination for a vice chair, community services, please? Councillor Lee.
Could I suggest Councillor Taylor?
If you're happy, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Bristow. Okay, so are both happy to be? Are you both happy to be considered? Or?
But if you want to do it, I'm going for chair and president.
Okay, I'm happy to do that.
Happy to do vice chair.
Okay, so do we have a proposal for
Councillor
Councillor Taylor to be vice chair?
So Councillor Lee proposes. So you have a second of Councillor Taylor, who's Councillor Sturton, I think.
Lovely,
Yes,
thank you very much.
Okay, so again, through you, shall we do the election of that?
All in favour?
Congratulations, Councillor Taylor, you're Vice Chair of Community Services. Thank you. All right, so next one is F&G Finance General Purposes Chair. So Councillor Sturt indicated an interest in being Chair. So can we have a nomination and seconded for that? Nominated Councillor Horrow, seconded Councillor Jonathan. Thank you.
All in favour? Thank you very much.
Okay, that's and then a Vice Chair for F&GP. Any interest or nominations there?
I propose myself. I can express interest.
So I think technically just nominated. Could another councillor second Councillor Bournemouth's nomination? Thank you, Councillor. Okay, so get through you, Chair. It's all, George has got a sheet. So can we see all those in favour of Councillor Horrow being Vice Chair of F&GP? Thank you very much. So he's in. Okay. Golf and the View. Councillor Lindsay Sturt has indicated in absentia he'd be happy to chair this. Would someone like to nominate him? Thank you, Councillor Bristow. Like someone like to second him? Councillor Bournemouth. Are there any other nominations for chair of Golf and the View? Okay. In that case.
All in favour? Thank you very much.
Okay, so Councillor Liz Sturt is elected chair of that committee. So we need a vice chair for Golf and the View.
Any nominations?
Suggestions, nominations, etc.
Councillor
Walraven.
Can I nominate?
Yes.
I would like to nominate Councillor Rutland.
I would like to second that because I'm going to be in the team.
Councillor Rutland, are you willing to be vice chair? Okay. In that case, shall we, through you, Chair, all in favour?
All in favour?
Councillor Rutland is elected Vice Chair of Golf and the View. It's serious in life. Okay, so next committee. Planning and Highways. Councillor Linda Walraven has indicated she wishes to be Chair. Thank you, Councillor Walraven. So nominated seconded, so Councillors Bournemouth and Honeyman, that's a tie. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. All in favour?
All in favour. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Councillor Liz Bournemouth, you've indicated your wish to be Vice Chair. Councillor Sturt and Honeyman are passed. So again, through you, Chair, all in favour for that. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was Planning and Highways.
Can I remind everyone that this is not an election?
Okay, we'll keep in the professional zone, shall we? Okay, that's fine. All right, so next is Personnel Committee. Councillor Olivia Honeyman has indicated she would be prepared to chair this committee. Would someone like to nominate her? Thank you, Councillor Sturton. And seconder, Councillor Borman.
All in favour?
All in favour for that? Thank you very much. And then from the remaining councillors, do we have nominations, suggestions, etc. for Vice Chair of Personnel Committee? Councillor Matthews?
Also propose myself.
Okay. Would someone like to, Councillor Sturton proposes you, would someone like to, sorry, Bristow, sorry. Would someone like to second Councillor Sturton? Thank you very much, Mr. Redmond, that's amazing. Okay, so again, can we see the vote for Councillor Matthews to be Vice Chair? Thank you, Chair. And councillors? Okay, so now I double back to Climate Change Subcommittee. We've had no expression of interest so far.
Put myself as chair on the email, but if anyone else would like to nominate themselves, and we have a vote, please.
Sorry, that wasn't a deliberate omission.
No.
Do we have a
Have a proposal from Councillor Bristow? Councillor Flores proposal?
second?
You can, is seconded. So again, through you, Chair, and all those in favour? Okay, perfect. And then we need a Vice Chair of the Climate Change Subcommittee. Councillor Buchanan is happy to be nominated. Councillor Morris nominated. Councillor League is seconded that. Yes. Okay, again through you, Chair. All in favour of Councillor Buchanan? Perfect. So we have our Vice Chair of Climate Change Subcommittee. Disciplinary grievance, am I going to do that one now? Chair of the subject. So again, thank you to Councillor Borman, who has indicated she's willing to chair this subcommittee. Would someone like to nominate Councillor Borman? Councillor Sturton, secondly Councillor Horrod. Thank you very much. Again, through you, Chair, all in favour of Councillor Borman. Okay. And then from the three remaining members, we would like to find a Vice Chair. Councillor Sturton. Propose. Could someone like to propose? Thank you, Councillor Borman. Councillor Horrod has seconded. Through you, Chair, as I say, all in favour. So Councillor Sturton is Vice Chair. Did you get that? Yeah. Perfect. So we've got all the boxes filled in. Okay. All right. So now we have a little pause. So we get to agenda item 6, and George can explain how we're going to be on appeal. So her sister works there. So it's Councillor Bristow. Okay, so shall I just read this list of
Is he alright? What's the smell? It's crashed.
Don't worry, he's fine.
Well, there's no one's going on, right? You want to good show.
It's all good. Thank you very much.
Before
I do go, I would like to congratulate all of the new councillors in their first year. Well done. I think you've all done a brilliant job, and it's been delightful working with you, and I look forward to the next few years.
Thank you.
If brilliant, right, you know.
All right, so councillors, I just discovered that we have a late nomination for Planning and Highways. We have additional space on this committee that Councillor Lord would also like for Planning and Highways. So we're going to add him to the list. Would someone like to propose the new list? Thank you, Councillor Honeyman. Secondly, Councillor Borman. All in favour of adding Councillor Lord to the list and agree the rest of the list? Through you, Chair, that's agreed. Okay.
I sort of regret that, but still.
So welcome, Councillor Lord. All right, so for appeals, there's two things I need to say. First of all, Councillor Lindsay, basically, because of the choices that councillors make about what committees they're on, and then which ones they chair, and stuff like that, some councillors can't be on appeals because of that. There's some very small writing on the sheet that explains that. But basically, so what Georgia has been doing very diligently is eliminating people who can't be on the committee to see who we have left to consider. Okay? In the meantime, one of the councillors who can be on this committee, Councillor Lindsay Sturton, has already indicated he'd like to chair that committee as well. Okay, so just to let you know about all of that. So apart from Councillor Lindsay Sturton, the possibilities are Councillor, so I guess I'll read the list out, and I guess I'm looking for councillors to indicate they'd like to do it, and then we'll elect a list from that. Does that sound sensible? Okay. So without putting it on the spot, but I'll read the names out, and then please indicate interest when we get to the end of my reading. Okay, so Councillor Shah Ali can be in appeals. Councillor Bristow can.
Possibility. So
Yes.
you've got a chair role, so ideally it wouldn't be, but it's not. It's not that.
Yes. So a couple of these people are chairs that can be on appeals. In an absolute ideal world, we have no chair on appeals, but we have to fill the committee as well. So I hope that's clear. Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Clay, Councillor Lord. We already have Councillor Sturton, Councillor Taylor, and although a chair, Councillor Wynne. Okay, so would any of those councillors be happy, willing, able to be on appeals with Councillor Sturton? Councillor Clay, thank you very much. So we have Councillor Clay, Councillor Sturton, Councillor Lord, Councillor Wearmouth, any others? Otherwise that will be our 4. Okay, so would someone like to, shall we, so through you, Chair, we can elect that 4.
Yes, so do membership and
Yeah.
do chair.
Okay. So we can, all those in favour of that membership 4. Thank you very much. So thank you to those councillors, it's very much appreciated. Now we have Councillor Lindsay Sturton indicating he wishes to chair that committee. Councillor Borman.
Can I ask, because he is also a chair of a committee, and the only person that isn't is Councillor Lord, if he's happy to chair it, I'd be happier if he chaired that committee.
Councillor Lord.
Well, put on the spot, thank you. I'm not going to give it, but yeah, if that makes it easy for everybody, yeah, I'm not problems doing that at all.
I'll probably do that, sounds appropriate.
Yes, so I guess Councillor Sturton has nominated himself, so we could see proposer and seconder on both.
So you're proposing Councillor Lord, Councillor Borman. Do we have a seconder for Councillor Lord? Councillor Meek. Do we have a proposer for Councillor Sturton? Councillor Honeyman, and a seconder for Councillor Sturton and Councillor Taylor. Okay, so I'll go in the order, because Councillor Borman put her hand up first, we'll go in that order. So all those who would like Councillor Lord to chair appeals, please show now. 1, 2, I'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, well, was that you? Sorry, can we do it again? Sorry, hands went up and down. 8. We've got 8 in favour. Okay. Against. Got 1. And do I show the abstentions as well? Abstentions. We've got. Well, sorry, were you against?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So against. Sorry, against. 1, 2, 3.
Put your hands up.
Well, I have 3 hands up for it. No, we've got 4. It keeps moving. Sorry.
Hands up.
Hands are going up and down. I'm getting a bit confused. Okay, so we've got 8 for, 6 against, and abstentions, please. We have 1 abstention. Thank you very much. So that's passed, and Councillor Lord will chair appeals. Okay. So, and then we need vice chair as well. So nominations for vice chair of appeals. Councillor Bristow.
I'll nominate Councillor Lindsay Sturton in his absence.
Seconding, okay. Any other nominations? No, okay, all through you, Chair, all in favour. So that's what we have is Councillor Sturton Vice Chair, and Councillor Lord Chair of Appeals. And I believe I've got to the end of item 7, the agenda items. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Yes. That's that's a very, okay, so just briefly, councillors, before we move on through you, Chair, to the next item. We'd like to add an additional amendment to the motion, which is to also propose, as not all our committees are not full, to propose delegated authority to the town clerk and mayor to fill vacancies within committees for the civic year and subcommittees for the civic year ahead. Would someone like to propose that motion? Thank you, Councillor Meek. Secondly, Councillor Horrow. Through you, Chair, in favour? Okay, so that's also passed.
So now we'll have a query.
Yes, Councillor Richard Hannah.
Thank you very much. In the sense of when you say you fill it up immediately, in fact, do you wait to go to the next full council?
I think it will be at our discretion in terms of how we proceed with that. I think that what it means in practice is that we need a quorum of at least 3 councillors for every committee. So a couple that look a little bit sketchy, we may work to see if there are ways of enabling more people to come forward, and rather than that have to come through a full council meeting, we have delegated authority to appoint those people to the committees or subcommittees.
Okay, I'm happy with that. I just needed that extra bit of explanation, that's all.
Thank you, Chair. No worries. Thank you, Chair. That's item 11.
Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item 12, purpose of the report. To review the Town Council's representation on outside bodies and appoint representation for the 2024 to 2025 municipal year.
Thank you, Chair. I'm really enormously grateful to the Assistant Town Clerk for the enormous amount of work that's gone into this report. And I'm also very grateful to councillors who provided a lot of the content for this report as well. So thank you, everyone. I think through you, Chair, that I would suggest that we're going to take these separately, okay? And we'll proceed through the report as well in accordance with the motions. So we start by considering the draft Town Council's representation outside bodies policy, which has been revised with the revisions shown at Appendix A. So through you, Chair, whether any councillors wish to speak on the revisions to the outside body policy before we adopt it.
Do we have any questions?
No, I was just going to say that having read through this, I think it's really sensible, and especially the fact that it makes information sharing easier, so that hopefully we should be more appraised more regularly of what's going on with our outside bodies and strengthen those links. So thank you for preparing this.
So, Chair, I might take that as a proposal of that motion, Chair?
I'm happy to do that. Do we have a seconder?
Councillor Sturton. Okay. Would you want to take the vote, Chair?
All in favour? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Motion 1 is that was, I think, unanimous, so that was motion 1 is passed. Okay, so item 2, to note reports submitted from representatives, the reports are Appendix B. Again, through the Chair, happy to pause here in case any councillors have any questions or comments on the reports.
Any questions on the reports? We have a proposal for the motion to note the reports submitted from representatives and outside bodies for the year 2023-24.
Yes, Councillor Morrow proposing that's all over the secretary, Chair.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take the vote.
And all in favour?
Thank you, everyone. That's everyone. Okay. All right. So now we move on to maybe the more complex. So as you will have seen from the report, there are various recommendations to changing what's going on with the outside bodies themselves. So the next motion is consider that. And did everyone get this separate handout? Okay, so we see out of your glut of papers, and you have a separate thing here which shows you Appendix C. So that's what we're going to consider now. Okay? So I think could we take it together? Yeah. Yeah. So is this what both sides of this are? So where am I going down to? Sorry.
So we're going all on the first page, second page.
Okay.
There is an update. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I thought you were no, I don't need to.
That's what I thought. So what's going on?
So we're not making it about. We're not
Okay.
going to represent the
All right, so councillors, I'm going to suggest that we, so basically if anyone has any questions on the first two sites, please, through the chair, ask them now. Chair, we've got questions for you.
Councillor.
Yes, I was just looking for any more information on the youth task group. I was looking to see if there was anything more. In theory, it sounds like it could be quite a useful group, but I was just wondering if we could follow up to see if that is something that's still existing or.
That is something we try to find out ourselves and chase and try to get a bit of information from them if we haven't.
Okay.
So we would like to do that. But yeah, unfortunately not.
No, with that. Tax removal,
Councillor Meek.
Thank you, Chair. I just wondered if Town Clerk remember just after a meeting a week or so ago, I asked you about maybe the suggestion that the museum and heritage, the Seaford Museum and Heritage, whatever it's called,
Yes.
should be added to our outside bodies list. And you said you were going to ask whether that was allowed because we're actually a landlord of Martella. So I noticed it's not on here, so is that a no?
No, it's not a no, it was a bit late for this meeting. Sorry, Councillor, I should have come back to you about that. It was just a bit late for this meeting, so we could consider that at a later meeting.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think we'd want to, sorry, you, Chair, we'd want to speak to the Museum Society first, obviously, and make sure it was something that they were happy to have and explain a bit more about what the relationship would be.
Coming back to the issue, I did actually speak to them, and they said, oh, that might be a nice idea, because they didn't want to have people going in. But I was invited down for coffee with some other members, and it was, well, we were all invited.
Yeah,
some of us chose to reply.
Some of us were working as well.
Okay, so
can I suggest we remove standing orders as we do actually have a member of the board from Seaford Museum?
Well, I think
Gallery.
with respect, Councillor, I think what the officer's saying is that we need to do some more work on that before the proposal can be considered by council. So we want to do the necessary work and then bring that to council to be considered.
I would still like to hear from the museum. The other councillors support that. So I'm proposing that we.
If you wish to do so, that's.
Yeah, so we can suspend.
So I'm proposing to suspend.
Okay, you're proposing and you're seconding suspending standard orders, and we'd like to hear.
So we're going to do the vote.
We'll do the vote. All in favour? Okay, I think that's carried. So could we have perhaps some information from the Seaford Martello Museum? Thank you so much.
I'm Jane Keel, I'm the chairman of the museum, and some of your members were kind enough to come and visit us the other week. If we need to put it to the trustees, and the trustees meeting is, our next trustees meeting is next week, it needs to be discussed fully what the implications could be, but certainly, you know, it's something to think about. And we would very much like a new lease, please, ASAP. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to now.
I propose to reinstate that.
Okay, thank you. Can we have and thank you very much. Councillor Seaford to reinstate standing orders. Let us continue. Thank you for that. Right, Councillor Bristow and then Councillor Meek and then Councillor Sturt.
You're voting.
Oh, you're voting. Yeah, sorry. All in favour?
Okay, so we voted on the first two sides. Is that all of motion 3? Yeah, we've done all of that. So that was in effect motion 3, Chair. Okay, so now we come to. So we've done motions 1, 2 and 3 under item 12, councillors, thank you. We're now moving on to appointing councillors to the outside bodies for the year. So again, this is the rest of your sheets. Councillor Richard Hogan.
So I've got a couple of queries over 2.11. And the community rail partnership. Of late we've had this 2.11B, yeah?
Yes.
We're appendix C, aren't they? So the
Yes,
so,
yeah.
still, when I spoke to Paul last time, I spoke to Paul, he was quite happy with the informal relationship with Councillor Clay in the south. So I know it's Councillor Clay's turn this year, but I could probably go with being an SCP rep as well, so in that respect. So I still think it's good to have two, I'd like us two anyway, in case the other person can't make it.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, quite happy.
Yeah.
And he said if you both turn up, it doesn't really matter, he's quite happy, so I just want to let you know that. And the additional access Seaford, which I believe is quite an informal group. Councillor Olivia, I was to do it, and I've done it sometimes anyway. I believe that's more of a substitution situation. I don't know if that's the case, Councillor, or both of us go. I think it's more a substitution situation. Thank you.
Are there any other questions around?
No, okay, Chair. So what we're going to do is we're going to see which representatives we can appoint now. And this sheet in front of you is to guide you through that process, yes? So basically, if for each time, I will, a bit like what I've just done really, so I'm going to do each but we won't take a vote for each body. We're going to go through this document, filling in as many blanks as we can, and when I get to the bottom, I'll do a single through you, and we'll then do motion 4, which is to appoint the councillors that we've just agreed on the list, okay? Yeah. So, hold on to your hats, we're going to start now. Okay, so Axis in Seaford and New Councillor Olivia.
Sorry, I did put on my email to say that I'd go on to that committee, stay on there, I've been on there forever.
So Councillors Olivia and Richard Hanman are both saying they wish to be on Axis in Seaford. Anybody else? We'll be happy to take those two. As you can see, the number of reps we will have is the number in the box. So that's those two. Okay, that's done. Bishopston United Charities. Councillor Walraven wishing to carry on, and you believe former Councillor Lower also wishes to carry on. So we're happy with those two. Looks like it. Chalk Coast National Nature Reserve. Councillor Bristow wishes to continue with that. Okay. Chington Brooks Project. Councillor Weymouth wishes to do that. And Councillor Bristow and Councillor Meek as well wishes to do it. So Councillor Meek, Councillor Bristow is generously deferring to you, Councillor Meek. So Councillors Meek and Weymouth are the councillors for that one. CAB, so Councillor Taylor wishes to do it. Councillor Lindsay Sturton. Anybody else? Okay, those two then. Community Rail Partnership, I think Councillor Richard Hanman has just confirmed that both himself and Councillor Clay are happy to be the 1+1 for that arrangement, so thank you, councillors. Community Safety Action Group is vacant. Oh, sorry, no, these are zeros. They've been taken off. We kept them on in case you didn't pass the previous motion. I'm glad George is here. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to jump to Crouch Bowling Club. So Olivia Honeyman, subject to meeting times, yes?
Don't worry, Councillor Sturton's come forward.
Okay, so Councillor Lindsay Sturton for Bowling Club. Cookmere Community Bus. At the moment, former Councillor Edson is doing this. You'd be happy to Councillor Bowling.
I know he hasn't put the report in, but can we contact him and see whether he's happy to stay on it? Because I think he is.
Yes, I think he is.
And just to get that confirmed with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it confirms that he doesn't want to, then it obviously comes back to us.
Yeah. No, Councillor, I think we're all happy with that approach, Councillors. Okay, I've made it over to the top of one page. Amazing. Right, let's turn over. Come on. Food Registry Group disbanded. Boom. Okay. East Sussex Association Local Councils, Councillor Gorman, are you happy to continue with that? Okay. Impact Seaford, Councillor Bristow and Councillor Shirley, yes, okay. Those two for that one. Joint Action Group, Councillors Borman and Weymouth, yes? No, sorry, Councillor Borman, I know you're very busy. So Councillor Weymouth, yes. Anybody else want to go on, Jan? Otherwise we'll have one. Councillor Weymouth. Okay, Councillor Weymouth it is. Lewis District Association Local Councillors, Richard Hanman, happy to continue with that, thank you. Macreed Youth Centre, Councillor Sturton, happy with that. Plastic Free Seaford, Councillor Buchanan, happy. Councillors, and then we have Councillors Clay or Meek, either of you wish to do that? Because it's going to be two. Councillor Clay?
Yeah.
Councillor Clay, thank you. Okay, we have a new one, Save Seaford's Swifts. Easy for me to say. Yes.
Councillor Buchanan.
Councillor Buchanan is okay. So Councillor, thank you, Councillor Buchanan. That's fantastic. Okay, Sea Friends is always on, isn't it? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Sea Friends, Councillor Honeyman.
Yes, one thing, yes.
Okay, perfect. Seaford allotments, Councillor Sturton?
Somebody else. If you're happy to carry on, I can, but otherwise I'll hand it.
Okay, Councillor Bristow for allotments, thank you. Seaford Beach User Group Environment Agency meetings, aka formally fraudulent slip. Sorry about that. But we've only got one seat. Okay, so councillors, we had got interest in claim, councillors claiming in Sturton last year, but obviously the meeting didn't happen very much. So looking at councillors claim and meet, do you have a councillor Sturton? Okay, would councillors claim or meet happy for councillor Sturton to do that one? Okay, thank you, councillor Sturton, that's brilliant. Okay, Chamber of Commerce, councillor Markwell,
Yes.
and councillor Lindsay Sturton said he'd like to do it. Anybody else? Was councillor Olivia Honeyman?
You have to make the breakfast though.
Is it well saying Councillor Rutland did do it last year and he's had to leave for an emergency?
Yeah, so. But I think he was going to do them all tonight. Yeah, so.
Which ones you know a bit better than me? Are we limited to 3 with them, do you think, the chamber?
So there's so many meetings now.
Well, there's breakfast meetings.
But he was doing it last year.
Oh, if Jeff wants to do it, doesn't it?
Okay, so Councillor Jeff Rutland will be the third one, thank you. Seaford Community Partnership, Councillors Buchanan and Richard Honeyman, happy?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect, thank you. Environment Alliance, Councillor Buchanan? Cool. No one needs on the golf club anymore. Okay, so the previously mentioned Seaford Head Local Nature Reserve Management Committee, Councillors Bristow and Meek on that one, thank you. Then Seaford Traders Group, Councillor Borman? No? Okay, so we need someone for the Traders Group. Any takers for Traders Group? Councillor Markwell? Yes. Okay, Councillor Markwell, thank you. Yes. I know you've done lots with them. Yes, Councillor Bristow.
Yeah, I've just noticed what may be a discrepancy. It could either be a discrepancy on the paper or in my brain. But in our list of OBRs, we've got Seaford Head Swimming Pool, and then we've got 0, and Councillor Antonini did it before.
Yes.
But I couldn't see that in our previous motion in the table 2.11 or 2.12 as recommended for coming off. So I'm just wondering what the status of that is and if it's staying on or not. Or if it's my mistake. I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's an oversight. So what we can do when we agree the representatives, we can also agree the removal of that exercise body as well.
Is the intention to remove it?
I can't remember what's in my list. Yes, it's just I don't think 0, I think 0 is wrong. Because I think
there's no indication of change, is there? That's Bristow is correct.
In which case, my second question is, does anyone know how often and when they meet? Because I might potentially be interested to do it for a regular session anyway.
I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is the council budgets a pool of money each year to go towards the course of action. It probably is quite important that we do keep that representation.
In the absence of anyone else. Or unless anyone else wants to do it.
That's where the council had was paying to
Or
stay.
unless
Okay.
if he decides he does want to stay, then I'm happy to stay.
Thank you, Councillor Bristow. That was very wise of you to make sure we covered that. I think I got down to say that's our work. That's then going to be a working group on the outside body, as we covered in the previous motion. So I'll scoot over the page to the Strengthening Local Relationships meeting. Councillor Horrow, yes. Councillor Borman, do you want to do that one, Councillor Borman? No, okay. And Councillor Walraven, yes. So we need anyone. We've got a third vacancy for the SLRs if people want to. Councillor Taylor?
Good plan.
Perfect. Councillor Taylor it is. 3 SLR ones then, thank you. Trees for Seaford, it's 1 according to this. Councillor Meek is going to be that one. And that's the end. Okay, so through you, Chair, I can now ask for a nomination, a proposer for the fourth motion.
So we are to appoint councillors to represent the Town Council on its outside bodies for the 2024-2025 fiscal year as set out in Appendix C. Do we have a proposer? Councillor Sturgeon. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Meek. All in favour? Thank you very much.
That's everyone. That's item 12. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we're now moving on to your second lot papers, if those of you have got papers. Your second one of papers for agenda item 13. And vote for the report is to present to the Town Council fixed asset register for adoption.
Yes, I am. I think, as councillors will have seen, all the information about the register is obviously here as the appendix, and the report covers the background to why we have this and what it's for and why we have to agree it now, and also in section 3 covers the changes since the previous year's asset register was passed. So pass back to you, Chair, for questions, comments and vote.
So do we have any questions on this report?
Okay.
Let's go to the recommendation to adopt the fixed asset register as of at 31st March 2024 as attached to Appendix A. Do we have a proposer? Councillor Raven and a seconder. Councillor Olivia Honeyman and...
That's everyone shared. Thank you very much. Okay, so...
on to item 14. The purpose of this report is to review the Town Council's annual subscriptions and approve the spend therein.
Okay, again, I'm grateful to officers for the report. Again, the report sets out why we're doing this and sets out what's proposed to be taken forward and what the changes are with the financial implications and the fact that we will be, £212 over budget if we agree this. Okay, so through you, Chair, I have to take questions about. Thank you.
So do we have any questions of this report? Councillor Bristow.
Thank you, and thank you very much for this report. I do remember this one from last year actually, and I have a question on point O on page 82, which is the subscription to the software platform SurveyMonkey, which is a very popular platform to use for undertaking surveys, and I know that it's helped us as a council to consult with our residents on several matters, which is a really good thing. However, last year and in subsequent discussions, we have been speaking about kind of moving forward with our consultations and surveys in terms of how we direct them and what we use. And one thing I've noticed since working with council for this last year is that within our Office subscription and Microsoft Teams, all the apps that we get with that, there is Microsoft Forms and various analysis tools which actually can automatically do stuff for us, which is compatible with sending things out to the public in a similar way to SurveyMonkey. And therefore, I wonder whether we could actually do without SurveyMonkey, save us the £348, get us back onto budget and just use actually the tools that we've already got in our Microsoft subscription to fulfil that function anyway, which kind of would be neater probably in terms of the software that we're using. So that's my food for thought for that one, and propose to take it off if people feel comfortable with that.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Bristow. Has anybody else got any other questions on the report?
My own view would be that I don't think it would just be gone because we'll probably spend that on training.
Yeah.
But I take that point. Yeah.
So you're exactly right, Chair. Perfect. The Councillor Bristow is proposing an amendment to motion 1. So basically, we might say comma with the exception of SurveyMonkey to make the motion complete. So do we have through you, Chair, a seconder for Councillor amendment, Councillor Bristow? Okay, through you, Chair, for the vote. All in favour of the amended motion?
Of the amended motion.
Okay. Thank you. And I think that was everyone. So, Chair, we don't have everybody. We do against abstentions. So, through you.
Okay. So, if all in favour again, those in favour.
Yeah.
Okay. Abstentions? Against?
4 abstentions and nobody against. Thank you very much. So it's still carrying this to give council the opportunity to record their votes.
Okay, thank you everyone. And now moving on to agenda item 15.
I'm incredibly grateful again to my colleague, the Assistant Town Clerk. Sorry, I defer to you.
To consider plans to mark the 25th anniversary of Seaford Town Council. Over to you, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. So, as I was saying, I'm very grateful to Seaford for all of her work on this. As you will see within the report basically splits the work into 2 areas around marking this 25th anniversary civic year. I think that you'll see, as the report explains, that we're trying to sort of land the balance between, we definitely want to mark and recognise the 25th year being reached, but at the same time, in the life of a council, 25 years is quite a short period of time compared to many other such august organisations, and also our residents wouldn't thank us if we started spending loads of money on being 25 years old. So we're just trying to land the right balance to that. But also, as the report explains, there's lots of great things we'll be doing because of 25 years old that are within the report, and I'm grateful to the Assistant Clerk for putting those together. And also, as the report explains, when the council was setting a strategic plan, we also saw this 25th year as a strategic opportunity to set up basically a work group, work together with local community groups on looking forward to the next 25 years for Seaford. And again, and as the report says, we'll bring more defined proposals for that to a future full council meeting. But as I say, we're just asking you to sort of note the direction of travel for this work with this motion now. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Town Clerk. So do we have any questions on this report, please? Councillor Bristow. Councillor.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited that we get to mark the 20th anniversary of the council this year, and in a celebration of brilliant things that have been done, that are going on, and that hopefully will come. And I think the plans are very proportionate and kind of sensible and at a good level in terms of, we're not blowing the budget on a huge party, but we're doing some things throughout the year and recognising it through the town. There is a point which I would like to bring up, which is in section 3, strategic opportunity, particularly 3.4, talking about the working group. I can appreciate sort of the sentiment of the idea, however, sort of thinking about it in practice, we've already got several working groups, and this particular proposed working group, whilst I think as a council we obviously should be looking forward to the next long-term period of time. A lot of our strategic plan, for example, is for the next 3 years, and we've got some wishes which hopefully will pave the way for after that. However, I think we already have various groups and committees and so on which are looking at things like the future of the town centre. We just recently approved the high street audit to be taken forward, and we've then got mechanisms where we might take that forward either by a dedicated working group for that, and we're working with Impact Seaford, which we already have the stakeholders for, although it's slightly dormant at the moment. Community centre and connectivity, particularly in relation to travel and things which might come to planning and highways. So, as I said, I appreciate the sentiment. I wonder whether a working group at this moment in time is the best way forward, and I'd go so far as to say that perhaps it's not appropriate just now, that officers could, with councillors in meetings, keep developing this going forward. And if it transpires that a working group is needed and that it can't be fulfilled by existing groups, that at a later date we might think about instating one. But for now, I would sort of propose an amendment that we don't create a working group from this meeting, that we take some time to think about that perhaps during this 25th year, and how the work can already be carried forward most effectively and efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you. That's an excellent idea. I think we've got too many working parties, we're falling over each other, and I've always said on more than one occasion that the councillors have more trust and confidence in our officers, and I think to a certain extent this celebration should be led by our officers, with the town clerk as its head, reporting to the mayor, and then we can make serious decisions from there. Because the more committees you get involved, the more fundamental decisions get watered down. And I think, as I agree, that's a brilliant idea, to be honest with you, that because when it's Seaford Magic, which is pretty good every year, I must admit, it's 9 times 7, it's done by the professional officers working in Seaford Town Council. And I think they should be allowed to take this forward without going to another committee, subcommittee, this, that, and the other. Eventually we get there, we've got like a game of marbles. So I think it's very important that we should go follow and have confidence in our officers, and this particular instance, let them take the lead, because they're in contact with everybody in the local community in one form or another. And I actually agree with you. I think we should stay away from another committee, let the officers take the lead, provide the town clerk reporting to the lady nurse. Thank you.
I think this is a great idea not to add another committee, and I have a suggestion to gather the ideas that are coming out of all the committees. Can we have a standard agenda item on the bottom of every committee that says, and is there anything related to our 25 years forward planning, and then that can be gathered from minutes going forward.
That's not a good idea.
And then we have an away day at some point and put it all together.
Well, that is a way to
Love an away day.
Thank you, Councillor Deb.
Yes, just comment. I mean, I didn't actually realise that the council was younger than me, so it's always remarkable. Yeah, so I do really welcome this, because I think that sometimes the town council can have a bit of a perception issue. I was, unsurprisingly to most, I was door knocking today, listening to local residents, and somebody said to me the town council shouldn't exist. And it's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard that a few times. And I think it's really important that we are actually getting out there, showing people that the town council can provide a voice for Seaford, and really put a renewed emphasis on making sure that we make the case for what a town council can do and the work that we are already doing. So yeah, I really welcome this.
Thank you, Councillor Warren.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First of all, we have got two former councillors who were in the first administration with us tonight, which must have been an exciting time when this council was formed. Secondly, I don't know if other members would think about this. I've always wanted us to have a Seaford flag, and I think it'd be nice that, depending on the costs, of course, to be able to do that for the 25th anniversary. I don't know how what other members feel about that, but I know the museum has got one, but it's only one-sided, and I know Tansies would be able to do a double-sided one. But I just thought it was food for thought, and I just wanted to be open to members of the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Warren. And Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I haven't congratulated you, and I haven't congratulated the Deputy either, I'm sure all personally, but in this capacity I will congratulate both of you, so well done. Here we are, civic side of things. Fantastic. Yeah, to echo what Councillor Woolrover, she beat me to it actually. The logo, can that not be translated into a flag? I don't know what background you have, but obviously a flag has to be rectangular, doesn't it, basically? And where are the civic places where can we fly the flag? Preferably also a Union flag as well, beside it. If you go to London, Union flags everywhere, isn't it? Cardiff, our own flag. Scotland, the Blue Cross. Well, not in Scotland, but here, can we have Seaford? What I was trying to say, where can we fly, where are the places we can fly the flag? Can we fly it somewhere around here? I know this is now outsourced, I don't know what the rules are of that. Can we fly on Martello Tower in the museum with your permission? No, I don't know what the rules I don't know what the rules are, but I know places where prominently we could basically fly the flag for most of 2024. So can that be basically move a little bit forward and it comes under basically 2.1 under the etc. bit for flags? So I don't know if you can investigate that, mate. Okay. Also, what Councillor Lord, Perot, and Biscoe said as well.
Okay, we're gonna wrap all these comments up into an amended motion for you. That's a proper ringtone.
Okay.
Through you, Chair, any more questions?
Okay, any more questions at all?
So, Chair, through you, I think we've effectively had some minor amendments to both motions, okay? So for the first one, I think we're considering proposed plans to mark the 20th of this year, putting the working group on hold and working through the committees for ideas for our next 25 years. Okay, you happy with, is that an accurate reflection of the motion you're trying to propose? That's fantastic, okay, thank you. And then for motion 2, the bit I'll add at the end, comma, including consideration of a flag. Okay, so if you're happy with those amendments, Councillor, then we put through you, Chair, and we can vote on them.
Should we vote on them together?
Which one needs to propose them? We need to propose and second, and we can take it together.
So we'll take them together. So can we have a proposer, please, Councillor Rees-Sturgeon? Can we have a seconder? This is the vote motion. Councillor Warren. Thank you very much. All in favour? Well done. Okay, thank you everyone.
Perfect, thank you everyone. Okay, so that was... Alright, so now we're going to page
87, your bundle, and we have agenda item 60. Purpose of report, to consider the recommendation to retire the young and deputy young mayor roles with a view to replace with a youth ambassador board. Who's speaking to
I'm going to speak to this, Chair. Again, I'm enormously grateful for the civic team, the work they've put into this is fantastic, and a lot's gone on over months to really. I think that this is really taking up the lead that councillors set when they were doing the strategic plan, and obviously working with young people and listening to youth voice was so obviously a priority for this council. And that has really led us down the path towards the proposals in this report this evening. The young mayor arrangement has worked fantastically well, as described within the report, but here we have a chance to evolve it into something with, we think, even greater impact. And again, you'll see within section 3 of the report the reasons why it's been proposed that we now do develop this. And as the report also notes, we have informally consulted with youth forum, Seaford school, like that, and they all think it's a great idea. So that's why this is now being brought to council this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, John Clark. So are there any questions in consideration of this report? Councillor Warren, Councillor Warman.
Thank you, I think it's sad to see this role go, but I fully understand. We've had some fantastic young mayors in the past, and really outstanding in the work they've done and so on. But it's always been a struggle because of exams, and also it's been focused on Seaford Head School, not to all the youngsters in the town, and I can see where this report is coming from, and I think I will support it. The other thing is I'm spending town council money here. Can we have some form of recognition of all our former young mayors? Because there is nothing in the council chamber, and they've acted on behalf of the young people, and there's nothing there to say, who. And I just think it'd be nice that there is some form of recognition in the council chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Warren. That's the second one.
Should this go forward, I think the plan would be to put something in the council chamber frame with the badge that they have, but with a list of all of the names of the properly organised certificate paper. So that's what we'd like to do, but obviously that's dependent on this decision.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I echo Councillor Wallraven's words with the fact that it is a shame to lose this post, but with times changing and things, that actually to have more of them on board and getting involved is a really good thing as well. I would like to query the DBS checks. because obviously £20 per person, that's going to be a basic ID, so it's just whether they have a criminal record. Just want to check that an enhanced one, being able to work with children, yes, it's going to be more costly, but that might be more appropriate, so as long as that can be checked with the school as they're involved in this as well.
Yes, I'll often get advice on that before we went forward.
It should be considered.
Councillor Taylor. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, following on partly from what you said, Councillor Warren, in relation to safeguarding, Lewis Town Council, Edwina Livesey, has now developed a policy for safeguarding within Lewis Town Council. And I would suggest that, we could maybe look at what that policy is. It's hot off the press, it's only just been developed, because they are about to take in young people from school to work experience. So it's this world has got very complicated, and we should learn from each other.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Matthews, then Councillor.
Congratulations, Councillor.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of add to Councillor Taylor's suggestion, would it be possible to develop a safeguarding policy and bring it to full council or another appropriate committee reviewing before yeah, so
Yeah, it would have to.
Yeah, so we do actually, we have on our policies kind of wish list, so in the future to create a whole overarching safeguarding policy for the council. Great to hear that there's other councils doing that, because obviously we can have a look at, the approach they've taken. At the moment, we have a safeguarding policy that relates specifically to the tennis courts, because we had to have that part of getting the revenue, of course. So we've got one step, but there are plans to go the next step, and obviously we'll consider how this then weaves into that as well.
and would there be a designated safeguarding officer within the
Yes, we've got welfare officers we've got 2 officers within the team.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Councillor Hannon.
I just wanted to say congratulations. And now being a past mayor, had to pause there for a moment. I'd just like to say I've worked with 2 really, really good young mayors, and they've been brilliant. I think this youth ambassador board is going to be a really good idea, so I'm echoing everyone else's what they've said. And the young mayors that we've had have worked really diligently, but as everyone said, it's their exam years. So priorities have to be the exams. So I just want to say I think this is a really good idea for them, and it's good that there'll be a cross age as well doing this as well. So I think it's a good option.
Thank you very much. Councillor Richard Hannon.
Sorry, Madam. Right, this might sound a silly question, but can you not still keep the titles of young mayor, deputy young mayor in this capacity, or do you have to relinquish it for this new setup? Do we have to call it ambassadors? Can we not carry on calling it by the existing titles in this format? That's just a question.
Would you like to respond?
I think we were looking at how to develop it and enhance it, and we felt that sort of being a youth ambassador would give a lot back to them. So it sort of broadens their work, I suppose. So it was just how we thought about it in terms of how we enhanced it, basically. So I mean, there's nothing to go wrong with going back, but we're looking at how to sort of take it forward and modernise it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor Matthews.
Further suggestion actually, with the youth ambassadors, would it be possible, or is there any kind of mechanism in play that they could, one of them or 2 of them could participate in one of our committees? I guess I'm thinking about the Climate Change Committee as maybe a non-voting member, but they can play an active role because it would be their future. And
I think, if you're I think, I don't see there being a problem. It's just getting it started, and then I think we will see the year through and see how it's gone. And I think maybe not all of them, or there might be an ad hoc or a specific thing that the group's looking at or the committee's looking at, where you want to get feedback from this sort of ready-built focus group that you've got there from younger voices, and we would just sort of weave it through. That's how I'm seeing it. But without it there happening, I can't really work it out right now. But yeah, I see them being a part of the committee process. I see them being part of anything that would be useful to them learning, and also to us getting a younger voice.
That'd be great to capture that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Matthews. Any other comments at all? Councillor Taylor?
Just a quick comment, Chair. That I think it's important that the young people themselves are involved in this discussion, because it is about trying to support them to lead, and that things like, whether they're called ambassadors or mayors or something else, it's something for them to debate and to make suggestions for. So, because otherwise it's going to be very nominal if we keep making the decisions for them.
Thank you very much, Councillor Taylor. Any further comments? Councillor
It's just a small detail really, but if we're thinking about widening the scope of this, so if we're looking at, say, children or young people from 14 to 18, not necessarily attending Seaford Head, have you thought about how you would reach out to the children who aren't at Seaford Head? Maybe privately educated or going to maintain schools in other places. Has that level of detail been thought through?
Yeah, so we've looked at the youth groups that are already in the town, so people that are already involved in youth groups, but also tapping in sort of homeschooling networks, and then just, usual wider comms, stuff in the Seaford Sea and things like that, our usual communication channels. But again, we need to try it to know how successful it will be. It's quite difficult. But yeah, word of mouth. We did the youth survey. I know that was at Seaford Head as well, but we did the youth survey last year, so we can use the similar thing that we did there. But yeah, and also welcome any suggestions. If you've got any suggestions on how we get the word out, that'd be really useful.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor
Yeah, very, very common, just to encourage contact specialist schools as well.
Thank you everyone very much.
Okay, so Chair, just to say, as you all have noticed, I think we can take items 1 to 3 together, and then as the report explains and the motion explains, once you've passed items 1 to 3, we'll then do motion 4 separately. Happy with that? So Chair, I guess suggest to review we do 1 to 3 together.
Okay, so we're going to recommend items 1 to 3. So 1, to consider the development of the young and deputy young mayor at Seaford roles. 2, to consider the creation of a youth ambassador board as recommended in point 3. And 3, should recommendation 2 be resolved and the youth ambassador board created, to consider the draft terms of reference at Appendix A. So I'm going to try take all those 3 recommendations together. So do we have a proposer? Councillor Law, thank you very much. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Matthews, all in favour?
That's everyone, Chair. Thank you very much.
So the 4th recommendation.
Yes, exactly. So sorry, Chair, but so this is a bit like outside body language. We're looking for. Did we get any expression of interest ahead of the meeting? We didn't ask. Okay, so we're looking for any. We're seeing if any councillors wish to be the council representatives on this board now. That's what we're doing. Okay, so yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Do we know what times this group is going to meet?
Oh, how big is it?
I'm assuming it's a school hour.
Yeah, it would be after school. It would be after school hours, so it would be from 3:30, 4 o'clock maybe. So I can't be sure yet because I need to sort out the finer detail, but I appreciate that doesn't then help if you put the name forward. Sorry. It wouldn't be 7 o'clock because I just don't think that would be appropriate for the younger people's day. So it need to be as near to school hours as possible, I would suggest.
Thank you, Councillor Richard.
Thank you for the clarification, but if there's 2 councillors, that 2 councillors, what you've done is basically have 2 councillors there and then exclusively hog it in quotes, So do you intend councillors to rotate every year, so to speak, so they don't, certainly the other councillors, if they're interested, can then sort of carry on, go on the board. Because I assume this is a long-term venture, isn't it? So you wouldn't necessarily want 2 councillors to be there forever, would you? You'd want councillors to rotate, just like some of the members of the other board would be rotating as well. So I don't know if that's how you think that might operate.
Yeah, the two, yeah. Each, well, 3.17 in the report, Councillor Hannon says the two council representatives will then be appointed at each annual meeting of the town council, so they'll be part of this.
Okay, Councillor Lord, thank you very much.
Very quickly, I've read this one, it says two councillors. I personally don't think we need councillors on it. I think councillors could be intimidating. They may have political views one way or the other way in this. I think the ambassador's position should be left to mature with young people under the auspice of somebody from the town council. Sorry, from the town clerk's department. I always feel that if you're with young people, which I'm not, because thank God my kids have left me, but when you're with them, you're trying to push them in a way you want them to behave in a way you want, not the way that they want. And I think perhaps it may be prudent that we should let the young flourish on their own ideas and designs and concepts, excuse me, and how they want to develop their position as an ambassador. And then they should meet somebody from one of the members of staff and casually refer it to the town clerk, and it should go through Madam Mayor. And it's kept quite informal, because I think if we make it too formal, suppose we get some representative pushing one way or the other, then I think really we should let the young people do what they want. And that's what we should be encouraging, rather than saying you're going to see a councillor, it's like seeing you every month, you're going to see your probation office or something like that. I think we should stay away from that. I think it should be left quite open and casual, because we get people from different walks of life, because I know one or two people here, one or two youngsters, and they're very, very keen on engineering. And also people are very good artists. At complete different ends of the spectrum. And we should encourage people from different ends of the spectrum to come together as ambassadors, rather than saying, right, every Tuesday at 4:30, report to town clerk offices, and we don't want that. Or you're going to wait to the ambassador's office until a council sees you. I think it should be kept quite casual. And it's a really tough one. I absolutely support the idea, and it's a fantastic way forward. And I think it should be quite informal, for at least the first couple of years, and until it develops, and so things are moving along. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lord. Councillor Bristol.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to politely agree with aspects of what Councillor Lord has said. I do think it's important to provide a space and a sort of foundation for the young people to flourish, to have their own ideas, to come together with their different skills and different interests. I think that's really, really important. But I'd also like to politely disagree with Councillor Lord.
Oh, it's a change.
Not having my own children, but having been involved for many years in coaching in sports, mostly in paddle sport, facilitating young people to learn new skills, to plan things for themselves, to think about new ways of doing things, to build their confidence. I think actually having a sort of bridge with one or two councillors there would be really, really good, because it would give them councillors to turn to and sort of say, okay, well, how does this work when you do it? And they can directly have that link with the councillors. And I think the councillors, I would hope the councillors would be, you know, really impartial and supportive through the officers as well, who would be sort of the main architects of the scheme, if you like. And I hope that between us all we could steer it into a really positive thing, because I'll come back to agreeing with you that we don't want it to be like a sort of probation meeting every week. So I just wanted to give that a slightly different perspective.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bristol. Councillor Sturgeon and Councillor Neake.
I'd like to agree with some of what Councillor Lord said as well. But can I sort of suggest that for the first year, rather than appointing specific representatives, what we do is have a rolling programme of, say, the committee chairs, and when the youth ambassador group get together and decide what they want to talk about, then we the chair of the appropriate committee is invited to that meeting, and then there is a link and there's a subject link as well, and so we might want to take that forward if it works, or if there's specific relationships develop.
Thank you, Councillor Sturgeon. Councillor Neake.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I agree with all those different views, and I don't think there's merit on all of them. I was going to say maybe as opposed to appointing councillors to go and be at their meeting, we can offer them an open door to our meetings and say we can support you if you're interested in coming to community services, and that, I don't know, up for discussion, there could be a place for them to sit and be able to talk in those committees if they wanted to and bring things. And so there could maybe, as you said, there could be support going the other way as well, if like a buddy system, if they did want to have some support in financial sides or whatever it might be, environment, whatever it could be, we could maybe offer that support, but not, as Councillor Lord said, kind of impose it in the other way around. So there's an open door system.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Lee. Councillor Honeyman, do you still want to say?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think I'm looking at the terms of reference draft about what actually we're talking about. So I don't think we intend talking about national, international issues, which I'm sure a lot of them would, especially like Seaford. I think they do politics A-level down there anyway. So and that, because you wouldn't expect to have a discussion on the Israeli-Palestine situation, would you? I mean, that could go that. But I mean, it's outside the scope of that, isn't it? I understand. I don't know. I just wonder if it has to be Seaford a bit wider. That's the question. Right.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Honeyman. Are there any other questions? Can I have a response just to that last question? Anyone?
I think
that in terms of reference.
I think if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is it's about there being some kind of boundaries on what's being discussed within that meeting. So we're not they wouldn't be talking about hot topics in the news around the world.
Yeah,
it would be relating to Seaford. So I think that would be down to the officer and creating the agenda for that meeting, and then we're actually just kind of coordinating the meeting within it. If you get the sense that the conversation is going down a route, it's if it's good for kind of their confidence within that forum, maybe you do let them talk for a bit as long as they're not crossing boundaries. But I think that's the sort of thing, looking at you, Lizzie, because you're the officer in the meeting. But it would just be about managing that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that explanation.
So I think, Chair, looking my office of colleagues, I'd like to suggest that we don't need to pass motion 4 at this stage. Because motion 3 covers the terms of reference, which covers the items you've been talking about in terms of council involvement. So I think we might pause there and consider the item discussed if council's happy. Let's do that.
Just for clarity, would that mean the first meeting goes ahead without councillors?
Yes, and then obviously there'll be the sort of coordination we talked about working together in terms of council involvement as we go forward. And if councillors feel that then that has to become more formalised, we'll bring it back. We'll still formalise it. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to take the first 3.
We're
going to have a 5-minute break, so I think we all need one.
She's much more
Thank you, everybody. I hope you all feel slightly more refreshed. It's been quite a long evening already. But we now need to hastily proceed to agenda item number 17. And the purpose of the report is to present the review of the Town Council complaints procedure. I'm going to hand over to the Town Clerk to give you a bit more information.
Thank you very much, Chair. Again, I'm enormously grateful to Georgia for all the work on this. It's a complex and important piece of work. And the report really takes you through the journey that we're on in terms of the rationale for changes and what they are, and how this might be taken forward, and the changes this would mean, and also the background in terms of this is very much the council learning from its experience and seeing how to improve its processes and practices over time. As well as the body of the report explaining the changes to you in their context, you then have the track changes to show the change in the procedure, and the new complaints bill, if adopted as well, is also part of the appendices on page 106. I'm sure there'll be questions, Chair. I'm happy to hand over to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to go through a period of questions. Do we have any? Councillor Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. And I want to welcome a review of the complaints procedure. We live now in a complaints culture, and it's something that must evolve and develop as we do as well. So thank you for the work that's been done on this. I am, however, going to suggest that it's not quite ready yet. And that what I would like to do is to look at the experience of some other councils, consult with Milk, have a think about what, as people coming in, used to complaints procedures in other organisations, so giving it a fresh look and thinking, okay, this is a great first stage, but there may be some things missing. Bringing in someone with some, like my colleague here, Councillor Sturton, that we might be able to do some work over the summer on this. I realise the problem is going to be holding it up, but I don't think we should let that tail wag the dog. I think what we need is a strong, robust procedure that we can confidently rely on. I'd like to propose, therefore, that we do think about a second stage where we got the opportunity now for some other eyes to look at this and to do that over the summer so we'd be ready for the autumn meeting. If I could just pass it on to Councillor Sturton, who's ready here, because it's a kind of something that we have talked about, because this is about the drawing on expertise from other people in the town.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Sturton.
I like Councillor Taylor, very much welcome this new complaints report and draft. I just think that it would be worth exploring other examples in other councils at other levels and thinking about membership and representation that was raised earlier in the public section of the meeting. And then just generally, I'm generally quite fond of strong legal processes. And just to make sure that we are kind of properly supported from all sides going forward. So, I just support.
Councillor O'Connell and then Councillor Bristol.
Short query. How does the complaints panel interact with personnel appeals and the disciplinary subcommittee? Because I'm aware that appeals and disciplinary subcommittee don't meet very often, so I don't know whether the memberships could overlap or how that works.
Yeah, to answer that question first, because that's maybe the simple one. So the complaints panel is made up of members of the personnel committee, so it's open to any of the 6 members of the quorum of 6, and includes the mayor, deputy mayor, or mayor or deputy mayor, I can't remember which way around. With regards to how they kind of link to each other, I think there's something in here about reporting back to the personnel committee, what's been handled. I hope I'm not making that up, but I can't remember exactly what that is. With regards to the disciplinary grievance subcommittee, that's quite separate. If the outcome of a complaint was to defer it to the disciplinary or grievance subcommittee for consideration, that would be a deferral and go across.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Bristol.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the officers for putting in quite a huge amount of thought and effort, because it's not an easy thing to go through and do, and it has certainly needed doing, and I'm, for one, very grateful for that. I do think that, and I've got kind of two thoughts. There are some specific things about the content of the procedure. I think it's fantastic that we've got a bit of an introduction that kind of sets the scene. I would say there are some things that jumped out at me. You know, not everybody uses email. We have a lot of people in the town who don't, so I think we should be impartial as to whether the complaint is received by post or by email. And if it is by email, I would suggest that whilst it may be addressed to the assistant town clerk, it comes into a dedicated mailbox with certain agreed access. For example, if the assistant town clerk happens to be absent on holiday or whatever. I think it needs tightening up in terms of we need dedicated timescales. We need, I think the panel idea was really, really good, taking that pressure off the mayor in certain circumstances. I really like the suggestion from the public floor about having an independent member. I wondered whether that might sit better on the appeals, sort of as somebody to help with the appeal side if it goes to appeal, rather than sort of on the first pass, if you like. Something to think about there. And so yeah, I do think it needs to be worked up more. I think it's certainly progress, and it's a great improvement to what we have, it's going in the right direction. But I would be in favour of taking it away, maybe actually putting it to finance and general purposes. The general purpose is part of that committee and sort of governance and so on, which I think is perhaps underutilised to have a look at, or another appropriate committee for sort of scrutiny and input, and then come back to full council hopefully soon, but certainly not past autumn. The other main thought that I had about all this, kind of taking a step back from complaints. Sometimes the council receives complaints without the complainant having actually been in touch with officers or ward councillors, or having had sort of any upfront dialogue with the council. And so it appears to me in my brief time that I've been involved with the council that it's sort of like a complaint or nothing a lot of the time. And I think it would be quite useful for us together to consider how we might sort of foster a better dialogue and maybe have a procedure that could be on the website that sort of says to people, right, you've got a concern about this, maybe in the first instance contact your ward councillor or contact a certain officer, raise a concern, difference between concerns and complaints, actually define what a complaint is or what a concern is, so that they can be dealt with appropriately. And an FOI, because even sometimes they can overlap a little bit. And just kind of, we've got this great A to Z guide in terms of what's out there in terms of what councils are responsible for and so on. I found that really useful as a councillor, and I've referred members of the public to it, and they found it useful. But to have a sort of almost like a user guide, this is how council's set up. Some people know it very well, and other people it's still quite an alien concept of actually having a ward councillor or having someone specific who's responsible for something who they can appropriately come to and discuss things. So I would really like us, as we go forward, obviously it won't be quite part of the actual complaints procedure, but perhaps as a sort of adjunct thing to think about how we can foster better relations and kind of appropriately route things through the system anyway. And of course, if something does end up being a real complaint, then it's a real complaint. But at least we sort of try and facilitate things a bit earlier on.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bristow. Councillor Matthews.
I'm happy to respond to Councillor Bristow. I think we hear what you're saying loud and clear. And I know that within the team we've been talking about the work that would follow on from the revision to this procedure, while being mindful of keeping things proportionate to being a small organisation, small team, all those sorts of stuff. So putting too many strict timescales into government of this will require you, frankly, to probably employ more staff, which we don't want, which is a step we wouldn't want to be going down. But we do want to make sure the public are having these back. In terms of the specific instances you give, I think we need to be just a little bit careful that we have to learn from previous experience, but not be kind of influenced too strongly. If I may, I'm in a public session here, so I'll choose my words with care. But we had a situation where a couple of residents were very determined to complain and frame their correspondence to us as complaints. and therefore we had to consider them as complaints through process, and this will not change that. However, so day to day, there's a lot of correspondence that officers are dealing with, which we don't treat as complaints. And we know where people are telling us stuff, basically. And so we didn't want to give the wrong impression from this that there were lots of things coming in as complaints that weren't complaints. That's not really quite the issue that we're managing here. But I hope that's helped to clarify that. But we completely, we all agree that we want the more things will happen to help everyone involved in processes understand what means what and what's a complaint, what is it. Those sorts of things are exactly the work that would be taken forward once this procedure has been taken forward.
Thank you very much. Councillor Matthews, Councillor.
I just want to thank Councillor Bristow for her suggestions actually. I kind of wanted to add a little bit more to public engagement side of complaint. So, for example, I think I agree with Councillor Bristow that the public might be asking for information or requests, or it might be an FOI or a complaint, and they might need some help with that. My employer they really like e-learning, so but they've got these what they do through e-learning is have these little video snippets of, that's it, not people, but cartoons or whatever, of telling people, advising what things are. So, if it's a confidence issue or whatever. And I was just wondering whether, in terms of inclusivity for the public, something that can be quite clear, quite kind of capture the imagination, that explains what whether it's an information request, complaint or FOI, that we try and think outside the box really. And I mean, I don't know if it costs any money, but I just think it might save time and lots of time in the long term.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Councillor
Just a thought in relation to the complaints. So this moves completely away from engagement, right? This is complaints against the town, basically employees. And I think hopefully, possibly you've already done this, Georgia, so I don't want to to what extent has the ACAS procedures been taken into account? Because we obviously want to protect ourselves going forward against employment. Yeah.
This has been kind of cross-referenced, or finding the right balance between our duties as a local council and the Local Government Act and our employment law duties as an employer. It's always quite tricky to find the right balance in that situation because you don't really know which one trumps. And so, I have looked at some of the council's procedures to see how they handle things. I think we're in quite a tricky starting position because from looking at other councils' policies, ours is much more descriptive than others are. But I'm well aware that to make changes that remove detail from a public point of view, they may not be so happy with seeing a procedure that's becoming less transparent about how we handle things. Maybe just to circle right back to kind of the comments around doing more work on this. We did have a discussion about the fact that this procedure may be kind of a two-touch thing. We didn't want to suggest that in the report. We thought, no, let's bring it here, let's see how it's received. But completely welcome that there is more opportunity for improvement and kind of tightening this up. From my perspective as the officer that's going to work on the detail, I'd really like to think about how we can get councillors involved and feeding into that, because I think your viewpoints are really important and coming from different angles that I may be not able to see as much. So I don't want to suggest a working group. But maybe some kind of email, just getting ideas going. Just something a bit interactive, so before we bring it back to council, you all feel like you've had a chance just to feed your ideas in a bit more, and I can maybe share with you what other policies, procedures I've looked at, just to give you that bit of confidence in, how we've reached, hopefully, what we'll be adopting at the future meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Honeyman, Councillor Hurrell.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for
putting this new complaints procedure together, and as it's been said, it's work in progress, and I think the working party, it just becomes a groan now. So yes, I'm really glad that this new complaints procedure is being looked at and there's work on it, and I'm really pleased everyone's voicing into this, so I can leave it there to say thank you.
Yes, just based on previous comments, I don't think we should defer it. I think we should be adopting this tonight, subject to any amendments that are made. I would like to repeat Councillor Bristow's suggestion that we remove the phrase ideally via email. Apologies if it creates any more work, but I do think it's fair to people who would prefer writing to not have a preference. So yeah, I think we should go ahead with this tonight. Thank officers for their work on it.
We've got two more involved, Councillor Lord, Councillor Honeyman and Councillor Gordon.
Thank you very much. Yes, a lot people have said an awful lot of things. I'm not sure if Councillor Horrow's correct in saying he wants us to go ahead, because there's so many, seems to be so many queries now, and I'm not sure if it is ready to go ahead. I'd rather it went ahead maybe in we're meeting June and July, aren't we? One of those meetings. I think it would be a bit more clear to have a more updated information if it's only a month or two to sort of revisit this with some maybe some changes. I think there's going to be quite a few really, but I don't know if there can be two versions, one for the public, one for your use. I don't know if the different versions can exist. That's one question. Finally, because I'm not going to repeat what Councillor Bristow said, but obviously the very last bit about the views and policies, yes, looking at the last version, they do vary. When policies and procedures do get updated, anything from about 5 to 1. When this finally does get adopted, I would say you want to review that within a year. This is you want to see how it works. You couldn't really wait for 4 years anyway. But that's my end. I think I'll be reluctant to approve it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Right, we have Councillor Gorman. Sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I was actually going to suggest what Councillor Horrow suggested, was actually adopting what we have in front of us tonight, but still carry on working with some of the more detail that some of the other councillors want to get involved in, because there are changes in here that are going to support officers and the Mayor from today with the way complaints come about and get looked at, and let's look at more detail and then bring it back maybe the next full council or in the autumn full council, but let's start this process now. So I do second Councillor Horrow on that.
Councillor Gorman, thank you. Councillor Lord.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair. I'm coming this from your side of the fence, and we've looked at this in quite some detail. And what the policy we've adopted is that we've had to step back from detail. And what we've found, by stepping back from detail, it gives the officers more opportunity to be more flexible in the reply. And I'll give you an example. I deal with all the green spaces in the largest district council in England. And green spaces means every blade of grass, every tree, every footpath in the largest geographical area, as I said. And every single query that comes in is completely different. And if you start compartmentalising different complaints, the way they come in and how they should be dealt with, it doesn't help you. You need the flexibility to first of all look into what the problem is, decide what you're going to do with it, decide how you're going to deal with the individual, and come up with a satisfactory solution. Now, I've dealt with a particular complaint regarding some elderly people in the 90s, and they want to walk around a wooded area. Now, it's completely different from children who want a swinger or off a tree. They're two completely different things, and yet they affect the people in the same way. And everyone has to be treated exactly the same, only completely different. And the process, it's not a procedure, it's a process we've adopted, is first of all to evaluate it, see what can be done. How can we do it? How can we achieve it? How can we communicate with the individuals involved in it? And that might mean meeting them on site, meeting them in a park, what have you. And we found we made it too rigid, it didn't work. The only thing we have rigid on our process is a time scale. We have to come back to you within 48 hours. So we do get letters, by the way, because a lot of people in the 90s don't actually, well, actually they do, they're quite good emails, but a lot of elderly people don't have emails. But we actually, they come, every single sort of thing comes through me, and I decide what I'm going to do. Some things don't apply to me, but they've got a focal point. And provided somebody's got a focal point, and they've got a time scale, they're not particularly bothered. You say, I'm looking into it, I'll come back to it in 7 days. After 7 days you're not come back, I say, look, it still takes more detail to work out how I can come back and satisfy you. So, I fully appreciate what you say, and I really don't want us to go down into a legal process, because it can leg you up, because people who have, the son is a barrister or something like that, he'll leg you up. If it's quite open and flexible, it somehow doesn't work, but it does, because everybody's treated on an individual basis, because everybody's needs are completely different than everybody else's. And in the law it says reasonable. So, provided it says reasonable, in 90% of cases, or was it, then you can more or less manipulate what processes, what staff involvement you've got in place to get yourself around a particular situation. And I feel that what we've got in front of us, it will never be the best. We've sent stuff way down to London, these barristers, £1,500 an hour. It comes back, all the child can roll that. And it's cost you £1,500. So I think what we've got, it's not right. Nothing will ever be right. I honestly think, well, we should have a look at it and say, well, what we've got, it's about right, but it's work in progress. At least we've got something as a basis. I completely understand what you say, but if we delay till autumn, then it's Christmas, then it's this time next year, and the staff have not got a framework to work with. So I just feel like we should say, well, let's have a look at it. Let's take it on board, and now there's work in progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councillor Lloyd. Right, we do have a little bit, we are moving in on time. Thank you very much. Councillor Weirman, please. And then Councillor Stone and Councillor Christopher.
I very much welcome the work that's been done, because I know this is a big issue both for senior officers and for the Mayor and Deputy Mayor, so I have a degree of self-interest in this to improve things going forward. So my questions are, do we know what sort of backlog we've got? Because if we were to adopt this from today, how many cases would still be in the process that would have to be assessed by the old policy? And if we don't adopt the process, and it is work in progress for however many weeks or months, how are we going to deal with this in terms of which rules and which policy is going to apply to which complaint? I can see it as a real technical difficulty if we don't make a decision tonight. And would the answer be to have perhaps a task and finish group where it has to be brought back by June or July, a very quick, focused process where it doesn't drag on, as Councillor Lord has suggested, which was my first feeling. But we do this as a matter of some urgency, knowing there's a backlog, but we need to get this better so that the public feel represented. They're not making complaints about the complaints procedure, which I understand is one of the problems, and that we free up that time and that frustration by having a much clearer policy with infographics and flowcharts and timescales, so it's much clearer to the public and to everybody else involved. Can we do it in a focused period of time and know what the work consequences are?
Councillor Wheeler, thank you. Councillor Sturton.
So I'm going to be quite quick, and I'm not going to give you a first-year law lecture on how to write rules. But there are two ways of writing rules. You either write really nice general ones that leave it up to the discretion of the people, or you write very specific rules that give you very that have to be done at times and decisions that have to be made. What you want is the procedure to be really specific, and you want the discretion and the decision making to be the people who are involved. So we need a mix of the two, and not just one or the other. And as a completely frivolous comment, the £1,500 your barrister charged you was probably too much.
There's a thousand for me in that, by the way.
The other thing I was going to say is that this is a very complex legal position because we have obligations as an employer, obligations as a council, as a local authority, and there are different types of complaints. So complaints that are made against an employee but not by their employer, and then the way we behave following the complaints process could then be a subject of a complaint by an employee about their employer. And this complaints process sits in the middle from all sides. And so we need it to be really, really, really robust in the framework processy stuff, and we need the discretionary decision bit to be supported by the right people being in the room to make the decision. I'd also like to just follow up on Councillor Bourne and Councillor Hurrow's idea that we adopt this and then carry on with the work in progress. The challenge I just want to raise about that is that we're already going to have to run 2 parallel processes if there's a backlog and we get the new ones. If we carry on with the working process, we might end up with 3 parallel processes. And every time we make a change, we've got to continue everything that's going until every single one of them is finished. So I would be much, much more in favour of a short task and finish, get a couple of people in the room, really nail it, get some flow charts, get some diagrams, because I love a diagram, ideally with colours, and I'd very much like to nominate my husband got to be involved in it, because this is exactly this sort of party.
Councillor Sutton, thank you very much. Councillor Bristol.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, various points I was going to say have already been said, but I'll just say that, I've just been looking whilst we're sitting here at Seaford Town Council, who have a really nice, very simple, colourful flowchart with timescales of when they're going to respond, and they're much shorter timescales than we've got in this document. But it does give that flexibility as to if something is historical and needs digging out, that it's dealt with. So I'd just like to propose that we defer the approval of this from tonight and reconsider it in July, that we have a task and finish group to look at it, and that we go forward in that way, and that we don't approve it tonight. So that's my proposal to hopefully be voted on if someone would wish to second it.
Okay. I'd like to second that with a condition that we have a guillotine on July.
Yes.
And then if it's a July, whatever you've done, that's it. Otherwise it'll be a next July, and then, So I will second that with a proposal we have a guillotine in July.
Holding on. Just one moment, everyone.
Yeah, okay.
We have to do the
We had a seconded proposal earlier about adopting them, so I think we have to check the proposal and second the first proposal. Check okay, so we'll keep it on the table.
Okay, I'm so reliably informed, but my memory does serve me well. We've had 2 proposals on the table. We have one proposal that says we do adopt the proposal in front of us now, the procedure in front of us now. And then we have the second one which says we don't, but we actually do take it back with the task and finish group and bring it back to July. So we're going to take one at a time. So you'll need to think about it.
As the proposer of the first motion, can I suggest we take the second first?
No, you have to do it first. You have to do it because you said it first.
I'll withdraw my proposal.
Okay, so the first motion is withdrawn.
Okay, so we're now looking at the second proposal.
Yes.
Which is now the first proposal. Thank you very much, Councillor Buchanan. We now have a proposal in front of us, which actually says that we are now not going to adopt the complaints procedure. We are going to A, defer it to July, B, set up a task and finish group, and C, who is on the task and finish group?
See who's that guillotine?
C, possibility, is there a deed to say, can we actually nominate people on that parliamentary now? Because otherwise, are you happy with that? So the first,
Can I just suggest that we, given that Georgia, you're leading on this, can we delegate it to Georgia to get the people and do the things, rather than us identify Georgia do it all. Georgia do it.
okay, right, cool. So, we have a proposal.
Okay, so shall we have a go at a form of words for our motion?
Thank you.
So we're now going forward to discuss the revised complaints procedure ahead of further consideration of the July full council and to set up a task and finish group to consider proposals for that meeting.
For
how does that
for the guilty in July.
It was for the July, exactly for the July.
Okay, so
Does
do
that
we
sound
have
okay to everyone?
yes? Do we have a proposer for that?
I hope that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
I think that is Councillor Bristow's proposal. She proposed it.
You're seconding it?
Yeah.
All in favour? Right.
That's unanimous, Chair. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Really discussion.
Item, agenda item number 18. Purpose of report, to present an overview of council training held in 2023-24 and training to be arranged during 24-25. I'm handing over to...
Thank you. Again, I'm very grateful to the Assistant Clerk and her team for all the work. We were really obviously mindful that the election produced a significant turnover in council, and I worked incredibly hard to give as much induction and transport as we can during your first year in office, and that's reflected within the report, while recognising that training is an iterative process and there's more training that will help you. So that's why the list is there for the second year as well. So I'm grateful to the officers for their work upon this, the training delivered so far, and also what's in the pipeline, which, again, we does reflect some of the key needs for councillors for their second year. Back to you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, are there any questions concerning the training report? No. Oh, sorry, Councillor Lowe.
Thank you. Just to make swiftly, on item 3.1, there's a list of training to be provided.
Yeah.
If I was going to make a suggestion for the town council assets near the top of the list.
Oh, it's in no particular
The list is in no particular
order.
The list is in no particular
Just a thought.
Okay, that's noted, Councillor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Bristow, Councillor Sturgeon.
Thank you. I would really like to suggest at this point, and I know it does say that we can explore and suggest further subjects, but something which I'd be really keen on, and I hope that others would be too, from the councillors, but also from officers, because I think you might already have some training in the pipeline for this, is community engagement and consultation, because I think we're in that, as I said earlier on the town clerk report, we're on that journey of improving our consultation. We have improved it and we'd like to go further, and I think that's something which I would see as benefiting everybody, and everybody could benefit, could input and benefit into that as well. And the other thing that I would like to remark upon is I think it would be very valuable for councillor, or what I would find it valuable as a councillor, to have some more formal training on the Local Government Acts and the actual legal side of things, statutory stuff as well. So if that could be looked into, I'd be most grateful as to what options that could be. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the training. It's been brilliant. I've learnt a lot, and it has made this first year of being a councillor so much easier and straightforward. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other further questions at all? Okay.
No, I think we can take the two motions together. I think the feedback's been heard in terms of how this will be taken forward. It's covered in 3.2 in the report anyway, so we just need to take it together.
Okay, so we will take the recommendations together. Number 1, to note the training offered to town councillors in 2023-24, listed as point 2 of report 1124, and 2, to note training to be arranged during 24-25, listed at point 3 of report 1124. Do we have a proposer? Councillor Sturgeon, do we have a seconder? Councillor Taylor, all in favour? Thank you very much.
Everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. The time now is 21:40. We have a lot of... Yeah, let's do 19. So yes. Okay, so we're moving on to agenda item 19. Okay. Moving on to agenda item 19, progress report to present a national model of councillor and officer protocol for consideration and adoption by full council, following on from it, having taken the civility and respect pledge. Over to you, Town Clerk.
Thank you very much, Chair. Again, you'll notice we sent this out to you, in the two-week ahead papers. We wanted to give you a really good opportunity to look at the protocol before it came to meeting. I think what I would say, because the report sort of covers the key points of the protocol, is that the reason why we're presenting it and have a motion to say adopt is that this is recommended good practice from our national body now. And so therefore that's why we're recommending it to the meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, do we have any questions? Councillor Sturgeon.
Sorry, I feel like I'm standing up asking all the legal questions. I think the whole thing's great. Very happy with all of it. If things go wrong at the end, can we ensure that that bit feeds into the complaints procedure and policy?
Good point. And you're right, we've got to be mindful of that, because this protocol cross-references two things. It cross-references the code of conduct, so the code of conduct change, you've got to make sure this matches. And secondly, as it says, I mean, this protocol likes the word protocol quite a lot, so it comes up quite a lot within the protocol. So when it talks about council protocol, we all have a working understanding of that as meaning the council's policies and procedures. So that's an example of what it is.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Any other questions? Councillor.
Thank you for carrying on what Councillor Sturgeon said. In a way, if this gets reviewed by the national body, then we'd have to review it as well, wouldn't we? As it could easily get, for various reasons, it could easily do that.
Yes, Councillor Hunter, just to cross you, but very much like, for example, our financial regulations are based upon a model from our national body, and guess what, they're just revising those, so the Full Council will be looking at the revised financial regulations model from that, so exactly as you said.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, any other questions? Well done, everyone. Okay, so can we take probably both of the recommendations? So the first one to adopt the model council officer protocol, and the second one to note the next steps being taken to assist with implementing and embedding the protocol. Can we have a proposer? Councillor Hall. Seconder, Councillor Hall. All in favour? Well done, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As George correctly said, and presumably you're going to hear. So we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do that and finish before
Okay, so agenda item 20. Purpose of the report to provide full council with an overview of the leases held by the town council.
Thank you, Chair. Again, enormously grateful. Even though this report is quite short, there's a lot of work gone into it. But again, I hope it sets out as clearly as possible for councillors, what leases are coming up to us now because of the timetable within them for review or renewal or amendment, and that obviously, crucially, 3.12 Martello Tower Museum is one of those that we expect to be considering in this civic year as listed here in the report. But otherwise, Chair, I'm happy to take any questions from the floor on this report.
Thank you very much, Town Clerk. So are there any questions concerning this report? Okay, everyone. So, hang on, Councillor Bristow and then Councillor Stern. Yes.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Stern can go first because I'm still...
Okay, Councillor Stern.
So, I was just going to ask about the rugby clubhouse and the football clubhouse, and the dates say 71 and 72 respectively. Does that mean they're running without a lease at the moment? No, ignore me, 20. Everyone's possible.
Let's get it late. We have the full dates on them, full years on the next one.
Oh, yes, yeah, that's
Thank you very much, for identifying optical illusions. Thanks for being human.
Okay, so my question is relating to a lease at the Crouch, and it is the football club lease, and this lease needs to be countersigned or signed off by Lewis District Council. That also might apply to other leases. I can't remember off the top of my head whether it does for the rugby club or possibly some others. But I'd just like an update. Okay, I'm going to proceed that by saying fantastic bit of work, because I know there's been a lot going into this. Sorry to just sort of cut to the bit that I'm unsure about, but we're short on time, so I'm cutting to the bit and just asking whether there's an update on where we are as a council with relation to Lewis District Council and getting those signed off or not, and what is the hold up at the moment, because it's been like that for a long time, about a year, so yeah, an update would be great, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Bristow. Before you maybe do that, can we just see if there's any more questions?
Yeah, no, for
There aren't, right, okay, lovely, thank you for the update.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly how many leases are awaiting consent from the District Council. We can certainly look at that and provide an update. The hold up, without kind of pointing blame, I'd say there's been slowness on both sides, maybe. You know, I think they are quite pushed within their legal team. We had that recently with some queries around bylaws, and when they're tried, it took a long time to get a response. But we will check where we are, what is outstanding, and just confirm it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further questions?
Okay, everybody, so we're going to look at the recommendations to note the context of the update report. Can we have a proposer? Councillor Hurrell and seconder, Councillor Foreman. Thank you very much. All in favour. Well done, everyone.
That's everyone, Chair. Thank you.
You've arrived. Agenda item number 21. This report provides full council with an update on the 2024-25 work schedule with the town council's policies. Please.
Thank you, Chair. I have to say, in all honesty, I have no idea how, with such a small team, we have brought so much information to this meeting. And to not only have the comprehensive policy update, comprehensive review of complaints policy, we also have a comprehensive list of the timetable for how policy reviews are being taken. So it's been an enormous amount of work to get to where we are this evening, although I do apologise it's taken us quite so long to get through all of this evening, and thank you for your time and patience to be with us until 10 o'clock. It's very much appreciated. But I would hope this report does what it says on the tin, explains what's going on in policies, explains what we agreed then, gives you a table, happy to take questions, Chair.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions about this report? Councillor Matthews.
That's what I've been seeing this agenda item, actually. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've been waiting a year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I think it's 3.1E. So that's about the policies being presented to full council, presenting the usual protest for items of business. I would make a a plea, or is it a proposal, for maybe suggesting that, because I don't have a lot of free time to go through policies when they come up in the agenda item, ideally, and I feel like perhaps other people would like more time as well to consider any policies that come through. So I was going to propose that all policies need to be presented to at least one committee for discussion before being presented to full council, depending on the subject matter. So that would be my proposal for 3E, rather than coming straight to
Yeah, I mean, I think that's almost an implicit intention of it, but I think that if it that I guess the thing we'd be thinking about is that some of this is to do with things like scheme of delegation and what powers committees have. So there may be certain policies, like with financial obligations and stuff, where it may be difficult to go first. Would you put any examples that have to go to full council?
I think what I might recommend is thinking back to what Councillor Bristow said earlier and kind of using that general purposes part of F&G. We also know that...
It was a short meeting.
Yeah, so the agendas for F&G do tend to be a bit lighter than some of the other committees. That's something that we highlighted in the purpose of the committee structure review. So I think certainly I don't see why we couldn't take policies through, because they all end up in full council anyway.
Yeah, probably the only other exception to that would be one timing. So, if there was a need to revise a policy urgently for legal or operational meetings, and the next meeting up as a full council, we might bring it to the full council. For time reasons, but we completely take them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Matthews. Are there any other comments on that discussion? Councillor Sturton?
Just a quick one in relation, obviously we just agreed to the Youth Ambassador programme, we're going to need to add a safeguarding policy to that appendix.
Thank you very much for that. Yes. Any other? Okay. Thank you.
There's a tennis one.
Yeah, but maybe it's really described.
We need it,
Yes, it needs to be a... Thank you very much. Any other comments? Right, okay. We have an amendment. Do we have an amendment or not?
It's noting the contents of the report, so we've noted taking on board comments that we've made and we'll action on those.
Okay.
So I think we can take that as is.
Do we have a proposer for the purpose for the recommendation to note the contents of the report? Councillor Sturton, are you proposing or asking? Proposing, great. Do we have a seconder, Councillor Clay? All in favour?
Second one, Chair.